Hello everyone. Today it is the last part of the second chapter, reproduction in lower and higher animals. Previous lecture we studied about reproductive health and different birth control methods, both temporary and permanent methods. Today we are going to study some sexually transmitted diseases and associated terms. And this is our last lecture for the chapter 2, reproduction in lower and higher animals. Let's begin with the sexually transmitted diseases. STD, commonly called as sexually transmitted diseases, also called venereal disease. They are spread by sexual intercourse, oral genital contact, or in non-sexual ways, maybe through IV drug or congenitally transmitted. These are infectious which are capable of being spread from person to person through these methods. The major sexually transmitted diseases are syphilis and gonorrhea. So, we are going to study both the diseases, syphilis and gonorrhea. There are about 50 million cases of syphilis and 150 million cases of gonorrhea in the world. Now, sexually transmitted diseases may be transmitted through bacteria, virus, protozoa and parasites. There are many diseases which are caused by these agents, and syphilis and gonorrhea are caused by bacteria. So we are going to focus on two diseases known as syphilis and gonorrhea. Starting with syphilis today. Syphilis is caused by Spirochaetibacterium known as Treponema pallidum. It is a chronic systemic infection, is caused through abrasions in the skin or mucous membranes with the Spirochaete Treponema pallidum. It is the name of the bacteria which causes syphilis disease. In adults, the infection is usually sexually acquired. However, transmission by kissing, blood transfusion, percutaneous injury has been reported. Transplacental infection of the fetus can occur. There are many symptoms associated with this disease like fever, inflamed joints and loss of hair. Sometimes secondary lesions or other symptoms also subside spontaneously. Both primary and secondary lesions are rich in spirochetes and are highly infectious. Sometimes treponemas, though they are rare in tertiary lesions, infection occurs by sexual intercourse, and incubation period is about 3 to 4 weeks. Syphilis is easily cured with antibiotics. The symptoms of syphilis depends on the stage of the disease. Many people do not have symptoms. In general, painless sores and swollen lymph nodes are symptoms of primary syphilis. Those with secondary syphilis may also have fever, fatigue, aches and pains and loss of appetite among other symptoms. Tertiary or the final stage of syphilis causes heart, brain and nervous system problems. There are certain control measures like prompt treatment of the discovered cases, finding sources of the infection and treating them, sex hygiene, cleanliness, avoiding multiple sexual partners, prophylaxis, or using birth control barriers, and penicillin is treating syphilis disease. Now coming to the gonorrhea. Gonorrhea is caused by another bacterium known as Diplococcus bacterium, Neisseria gonorrhoeae. The victim feel burning sensation and pain during urination. Gonorrhea is very common infectious disease. Burning sensation when urinating is one of the normal symptom of gonorrhea. In male, white, yellow or green discharge from the penis, in males painful swollen testicles, and in women bleeding between periods and also increased discharge. These are certain common symptoms observed in gonorrhea patients. Sometimes the disease causes inflammation of the mucous membrane of the urinogenital tract, rectum, throat and eye. It spreads by sexual contact and through infected clothes. The infection may spread to other parts of the body and cause arthritis and female sterility. The children born to affected mothers often suffer from eye infection. A major difference between syphilis and gonorrhea, though both are bacterial causal disease, syphilis caused by Treponema pallidum, gonorrhea caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Immunity, registry infection. Gonorrhea, non-registry infection. Time, long period of time until show full effect. That means the incubation time is longer in case of syphilis than in gonorrhea. Process, in syphilis we can find 4 stages. Gonorrhea do not have any stages. And symptoms, syphilis have many symptoms like lesions or wound at the infection section, and gonorrhea has only pain, or it's a painful disease. The transmission are almost the same transmission, maybe through vaginal or oral sex or non-sexual contact if the source rashes. So the transmission ways are common in both the cases. Now coming to certain associated terms to reproductive disorders like infertility. Most experts define infertility as not being able to get pregnant after at least 1 year of trying. Women who are able to get pregnant but then have repeated miscarriages are also said to be infertile. Pregnancy is the result of a complex chain of events. In order to get pregnant, a woman must release an egg from one of her ovaries, which we call as ovulation. The egg must go through a fallopian tube towards the uterus, or otherwise known as the womb. A man's sperm must join or fertilize with the egg along the way during the movement in the fallopian tube. The fertilized egg must attach to the inside of the uterus, known as implantation. So this, if it happens, we call it as fertile or fertile. If it doesn't occur, we call it as infertility. Assisted reproductive technology, ART, is a term that describes several different methods used to help infertile couples. ART involves removing eggs from a woman's body, mixing them with the sperm in the laboratory and putting the embryos back into a woman's body, which we call nowadays as IVF. There are different methods of ART or the assisted reproductive technology like the IVF, GIFT, ZIFT, IUI, ICSI. IVF or in vitro fertilization or in vitro embryo transfer. GIFT is gamete intrafallopian transfer. ZIFT is zygote intrafallopian transfer. IUI is intrauterine insemination, and ICSI is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, which are different methods of assisted reproductive technology used for the couples who are infertile or not able to fertilize the egg. Here we can see intrauterine insemination. How insemination occurs through the syringe into the uterus of the mother so that fertilization takes place. In vitro fertilization, whereas fertilization outside of the body, it is often used when a woman's fallopian tubes are blocked or when a man produces too few sperm. Doctors treat the woman with a drug that causes the ovary to produce multiple eggs. Once mature, the eggs are removed from the woman. They are put in a dish in the lab along with the man's sperm for fertilization. After 3 to 5 days, healthy embryos are implanted in the woman's uterus. This is known as in vitro fertilization. Here you can see in vitro fertilization how egg production is stimulated by hormone therapy. Many eggs will be produced from the ovary, then they are extracted so that they can be fertilized with the sperm, combined for fertilization. Then again the fertilized eggs are injected or inseminated into the uterus of the female. Now coming to the zygote intrafallopian transfer, one more method of ART, assisted reproductive. Now ZIFT or tubal embryo transfer is similar to IVF, whereas fertilization occurs in the laboratory, then the very young embryo is transferred to the fallopian tube instead of the uterus. Then we call it as zygote intrafallopian transfer. Here you can see the fertilized egg is injected and placed into the fallopian tube. So we call it as zygote intrafallopian transfer. Now coming to the gamete intrafallopian transfer, GIFT, it involves transferring eggs and sperm into the woman's fallopian tube. So fertilization occurs in the woman's body. So here you can see the fertilized egg is not placed. Rather, both the egg and sperm, the mixture of egg and sperm are placed in the fallopian tube. And in the fallopian tube, the fertilization takes place. We call it as gamete intrafallopian transfer. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection. It is often used for couples in which there are serious problems with the sperm. Sometimes it is also used for older couples or for those with failed IVF attempt. In intracytoplasmic sperm injection, a single sperm is injected into a mature egg. Then the embryo is transferred to the uterus or fallopian tube. Here you can see the sperm is directly injected into the ovum. Then it is injected into the fallopian tube or the uterus. So it is directly injected into the cytoplasm of the sperm. So we call it as intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So as we have already mentioned, ART procedures sometimes involve the use of donor eggs, donor sperm or previously frozen embryos. Donor eggs are sometimes used for women who cannot produce eggs. Also donor eggs or donor sperm is sometimes used when the woman or man has a genetic disease that can be passed on to the baby. This is how a donor egg or sperm is stored and it is extracted whenever required during the cases like infertile parents, and then it is used for fertilization before injecting into the uterus or fallopian tube of the female. So in this way, all the medical termination or all the different medical terms of the pregnancy or infertility can be treated. Thank you.